Alright, oh, arena, yeah, that's gonna be fun. Okay, so arena without sling, or without sling. The sling is nerfed a bit on the patch for the Nations Cup, so it's not going to be that effective, but still shouldn't be all that crap. So maybe there could be some kind of strategy, like for example, I don't know, some double sling maybe could work. Could be. It will be pretty risky, but we'll see pretty soon. And right off the bat, we are seeing pretty interesting and fun stuff happening. Right between Deadpool and Vladimir Ilyich. They are basically having common base. This is actually quite a dream for them. Especially for Deadpool, I'm thinking after the first game. And it's going to be very easy for him to build a wall with his teammate from above this position, because they will want to take this gold for them. And then it's of course going to be making for quite safe trade route between those two, even though it's nothing really all that long. Their last player is McLaughlin at the top. That would be actually a lot better. That would be a lot better. McLaughlin is already killing some of the gates and walls in there. Having extra gold behind. Oh well. And save gold, the main one. That's actually pretty great for him. He's having just unsafe stone. He is Spanish. So he's playing the same civilization or not. No, he isn't. He was Han in the first one. And that's Teutons with him and Aztecs. And for the opponents, it's for the Peruvians, Spanish, Mongols, and Mayans. Interesting. So do we see some strategies of the bat? Well, of course, Vladimir Ilyich, Aztecs, that's going to be priests. That's of course going to be priests, that's kind of understandable. I would be expecting that he'll be slung by Teutons. So they are probably going to attempt the sling by Deadpool, who is in the pocket. Going to be nicely protected by Vladimir Ilyich. This could work. Man, this actually could really work. Let's see if McLaughlin is going to be playing as well as he did in the first game and will be able to execute his Aztec monk strategy and basically kill a Spanish player as soon as possible. And it could be working because the Spanish should be hurrying up into Castle Age, then dropping Castle and Conquistadors. And they are just meat for the converting monks. That could really work quite alright. So I'm fairly certain that right now Peruvians need to be a bit wary how this game is going to be developing, because it might be trickling through their fingers sooner than they might be even expecting. So coming for the bar, that's to delete the walls. Needs to delete two so that he's sure he's not going to be losing him. And unfortunately the gold is quite spread out and all the way to the wall. So it's going to be kind of hard for him to conquer and or rather guard and whatnot. But otherwise it of course doesn't matter in such a huge manner, because he is the Spanish. He's gonna drop a castle. Well, depends what he wants to do. If he wants to protect even the up gold, he's gonna want to drop it back here. Or if he wants to just basically protect himself against the enemy and the gates, he's just gonna drop it here. I think the latter option is better, strategically. But I know what's gonna happen to him, so yeah, that might be also part of the reason why it seems to be better for me. Otherwise, a lot of room behind his base, that's always pretty nice on arena. This is kinda risky from him, because he's gonna cut through and he might be potentially allowing his opponents to come in. Well, gotta be careful about what you do in this map. As we are switching into full attack, who is going to be playing in the pocket for the Peruvians. Yet again, gold next to front wall, which is kinda usual. And having extra gold behind his base as well, so that's kinda similar to what we have seen from Vladimir Ilyich. So yep, that's pretty much an equal map in there overall. In the meantime, Perugis, the new player in this game, is having also back gold. Oh, double. Well, somebody's got lucky. And this one of the gold is actually one of the better ones, because of course it's at the back of your base towards your ally, and if you wall correctly, which there is definitely a good opportunity for that, probably going to be from this forest towards about here, but that's long. From that forest to here, about this position of the wall, I would be thinking. And maybe just some, I don't know, whatever, castle in there. Depends how the game is going to be developing, as I'm expecting that Perugis might be under pressure sometime soon, but yeah. He's on the... Oh, what kind of nonsense am I actually talking about? He's an opponent, so of course there's not gonna be any wall in there. So in that case, it's actually pretty sucky gold. I was for a moment thinking that he's actually belonging to the Moroccans, but he isn't. Oh well, that's a Peruvian flank, god damn it. Sorry for that confusion. In which case, of course, sucks. And potentially a bit of an advantage for Vladimir Ilyich, but still the double golds in there. He doesn't even need this gold. He has this one, this is just save. Turbo save gold behind his base. He doesn't need the one unsafe in the front. He's pretty much fine. So gold right now for Vladimir Ilyich fine in there. The front's not safe, but quite close to potentially cover with the castle. And we are right now moving into Deadpool as one of the last players in here to check, and he's having some extra stone. That's actually pretty sweet, considering that he's going to be slinging probably. The stone at the back, everything pretty much safe with double golds inside his base. That's what you want to see if you are gonna be ready for a lot of walling and a bit of an interesting game, and basically keeping our fingers crossed for your opponent's skills, or rather for your allies' skills. For your opponents as well, that they make some mistakes, of course. Relics are definitely for the Moroccans. They are having 3 between them, quite close by, then 1 between Moroccan and Peruvian flanks, and then basically 1 Peruvian. That's about it. So relics actually are important on arena, so that could be a bit of an advantage for them, but otherwise we are just not seeing all that much stuff in here as we are, on this fabled map, where nothing happens until about minute 20 or whatnot, once everyone is in the castle age. So first fuel is going to be from Deadpool. Coming at 25 villies, everybody are going to be advancing at 25, where Peru is apparently not, and tempo. McCluffy just now coming at 25, 26. At 26. Vladimir Ilyich also, and they are all advancing quite fast, or rather quite fast, a bit faster than Peruvians. From Peruvians, just Giz on the left flank is going to be advancing slightly faster, so... Well, let's see if Peruvians won't be getting too greedy. Well, they are advancing at 26, so they were just a bit too late to get to that number. Vladimir Ilyich and Deadpool both advancing slightly faster. Yeah, well, let's see how this is gonna go. Vladimir Ilyich as a stack. I'm kinda thinking that I was commentating it in a way that actually McCluffy was a stack. I'm not sure. It might have happened. It's some kind of random thought that I'm right now having. But yeah, he definitely isn't. McCluffy is Spanish, going to be fighting against another Spanish, so that's going to be a proper mirror. And since those two played pretty well last game around, it might be a pretty fun game between them. It will depend who is gonna be receiving some kind of significant help or not. In the meantime, of course, right now at the bottom, the Aztec is going to be facing against the Mayan, which is not ideal. Because what the Aztec can be, or what the Mayan could be doing. Plumed Archers, that's a good unit, reasonably good unit. Against Monks, Eagle Warriors, great unit against Monks. Might be a bit of a tough deal, and it might be worthwhile for Vladimir Ilyich if he's going for really the Monks, which he should be, to maybe switch on the top, because really, as I said when I thought that actual McCluffy is the Aztec, converting the Conquistadors is one of the best uses of them in the early game, because it not only neutralizes your opponent, but gives you a very strong unit for the early game, because Conquistadors are really good for controlling the map at the early stages of the Castle Age, of course, and even early Imperial. So yeah, there's that, as we are apparently having a bit of a pause, and yeah, he could be using a bit more scouting. Not sure if he just randomly stopped there, or if it's just because of the pause, and he's going to be moving somewhere pretty soon. Not really sure, but we're going to be seeing just when the game is unpaused. And he is... Yep, he's just... Aha! Yeah, that makes sense. He's just pushing the deer. Alright. That is a worthwhile action. He doesn't need to see anything more. He just knows who is against him, and that's what he needs to know, as that will basically dictate what he's going to be playing. Alright, market for him, so we should be dropping, or rather... hurrying up into Castle Age to get the Monks. Already getting the gold, market, blacksmith, so... That might be the different sling. They're not really the feudal age, but what you do with, of course, the Teutons is that you just go into Castle Age and then sling. That might be some kind of idea behind this gameplay. That's what I have seen played in RTS League in numerous occasions, that kind of strategy, so maybe that's gonna be used in here. Otherwise, bit of scouting, of course, by full attack, trying to see what's going to happen in the opponent's bases and in the middle overall, and there are, okay, they are just communicating that red is saying that there is the yellow opponent and blue is signaling where his opponent is. Unfortunately, teal, for some reason, for this reason, because he's greedy and he wants all the deer without the mill, has been pushing all the deer inside. Yeah, you can see the carcasses across the base in here. Well, varying levels of success with pushing the deer. That's level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 0. It's kind of funny. And well, apparently I haven't switched into the game, so sorry for that. Luckily we are in arena. Well, thank you for actually letting me know. Sorry about that, but we are in, and well, we are on arena, so we didn't really miss anything. We are just at 15 minutes, so the game is just going to be starting. Luckily it doesn't matter at all, and yeah, that's gonna be it. So, I'm just going to be showing it yet again as the map looks before we are getting into Castle Ages. So this is what I was talking about at the start of the game. This is Vladimir Ilyich right now having quite fun stuff with his teammate Deadpool quite close by, so they could be very easily walling and protecting each other. As of course, right now there was finally a plug by Mr. Tempo. In there, and well, those deer, this is the level 1, level 2, level 3 as he was pushing deer and having varying success with them. And this is the level 0 as I was commentating just a bit ago. So what's gonna happen with them? Well, unsafe gold of course right now for Perugis. As I was also saying, I'm just going to be talking you through what I was talking about a bit earlier quickly. Unsafe gold for him, he's right now going for the castle, and blue touches of course as the Mayan. So he's quite close by to his opponent who is going for Siege Workshop, and are we all ready? No, so far no monks. Bit of a pause, there was because of a phone apparently. And well, yeah, right now monastery, so that's going to be pretty much a fairly standard gameplay by him. But against Mayan, not sure if it's going to be working all that well. The pocket player right now for Peruvians is dropping out of the town center, he's just going to be booming. Ah, somebody's greedy, 40C's already going to be coming for the Mongol. So he's hoping that his allies are going to be protecting well enough. Let's see if it's going to be true. And well, of course, McLaughlin going for it aggressively. And is there really some sling or not? No. It's just his gameplay. It's just his gameplay. And nice idea. Definitely nice idea, because right now he's going to be forcing Mr. Tempo to follow his suit. And he cannot protect the gold anymore. And it's not like he's gathering gold. This is even more interesting. It's almost looking like that he's actually, well, either preparing for a sling or whatnot, which should be weird, or he's just thinking he's having time, which he doesn't. This is kind of obvious right now, right? So curious how this is going to develop. Village is already coming back, not really interested in anything like that. Coming for the stone, and why? Why do you come back? You are having stone mine right next to your castle. Just mine that and keep your villages for, I don't know, siege workshop, whatever you want to build. This is a mistake by McAfee. He could have even, if not for normal buildings or anything and saving time, you're just gonna steal basically resources from your opponent if the game goes wrong a bit later. That's unfortunate right now by McAfee, but he decided to do this. Maybe it's gonna work in the long run anyway. You're gonna see, but of course full on defense right now by both castle and town center next to the gold mine, and we're gonna hope that the monks and the monastery from the monasteries are going to be coming up fast enough. So far we don't see any kind of upgrades or anything yet, so this is going fairly slowly, I have to say. At this stage I would be already expecting some monks out and attempting at least to collect the relics. Just Eagle Warrior, not even the monk in there. As of course, these guys have made it through quite easily, because castle could have made petards without any kind of issue, and right now it's going to be defensive castle at the very last moment, which is basically going to be saving his skin. Mr. Tempo is going to be living a bit longer than he maybe thought he might be living, and Vladimir Ilyich coming into Imperial Age quite fast. And still no any kind of slinging, so that's that. And, oh, he would be, of course, shooting on the stone, which is, of course, useful, but not anymore all that much, because castle is down. This is exactly what he needs, at least the one, or maybe one max, that's all that needs. 3 town centers down, so economy is going to be coming up quite alright. So, yep, all he needs right now are the few monks, and he's, of course, going to be getting those conquistadors Unless, actually, McLaughlin kills them fast. Kills them faster, which is, I think, exactly what happened in here. I haven't noticed any kind of upgrades from Monastery, so that was just a delete, and not wanted to let it go into the opponent's power. So yep, that's that. And that's why I was thinking that actually sending those monks from red to the top and helping his teammate McLaughlin against the Spanish would be a lot better choice. But he's coming forward, Mangonel and Priests. And it's going to be all about micro. If he's going to be having enough micro with the Mangonel against the Plume Touchers, or not. Because if he doesn't, then tough luck. Oh, Eagle Warrior stolen. Sucks for yellow, apparently. But we are right now going to be moving back to the top, where a few more Conquistadors are just going to be coming in. And this is actually a pretty big problem, those 2 golds. This is very well played by McAfee. He recognized the map, how he needs to play it, but he still needs to be careful about those monks, because they will be stealing the units for him, and he probably should be... Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Counter conversion, that's not really bad. I was kind of thinking that maybe some... I don't know, even maybe some few skirmishers, or just maybe some scout cavalry to help actually send them first, tank some of the conversion and such. It could be working. But yeah, right now 2 gone out of 5. So he just needs to concentrate on the monks, kill them, because of course Steel will be running out of gold. Unless he's gonna be slunk. Well, he's having for last monk. Definitely has to be careful. Oh, he was actually clicked in. Okay, so that's that. But no, just confirmation that he doesn't have any extra gold, and he will have to be slung by some of his allies if he wants to stay alive. So petards coming in. Oh, is he gonna convert them? Oh, it almost looked like he's gonna convert one of the petards, and he didn't at the last moment. So he's gonna be breached, which is actually not great, but he could be fast falling. Yeah, this is pretty nicely played. Exactly in time, even though he's gonna lose the villages, maybe 1-2. It's not bad. He was able to stop his opponent. That's exactly what he needed. And he's just gonna be waiting for a cool shot with the Mangonel. And let's see. Some attack ground between them, or rather before them, would be worthwhile. Come on. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for this clip onto Reddit. Give it to me, please. Yeah, gonna have to wait for it a bit longer apparently. So in the meantime, let's check how's it looking somewhere else. Well, monk up, villager up. Well, he's next to gold. Alright, so that's the reason why he's actually having gold. He has been able to find another one outside and build a town center right next to it. So yeah, Mr. Tempo, nicely played. McAfee unfortunately wasn't diligent enough. He wasn't paying enough attention in there, wasn't scouting at the bottom, and this basically means that this attack is not going to be as dangerous as it potentially could have been. So yep, Mr. Tempo does have all the cards in his hand. And right now we are just waiting. When full attack with the 40C's greedy gameplay, he is going to be just emerging from his shell with the Imperial Age, already at 88 villages, Deadpool at 80, and waiting for Deadpool also. Coming for Monastery. Interesting choice. Maybe for the relics, not sure. Not entirely sure. But I guess we're gonna discover the strategy behind Moroccan's gameplay in about 2 minutes probably. Once he does something more with the monastery than just one monk. This is just a scout. Yes, this is just a scout. At 3 hit points, already gathering at outside of his base. Yeah, bit of a longer pause in there. Yeah, I would like to push play if it would help, but unfortunately it won't help. As this is a game pause and we are just waiting for them to come back and start playing and showing us their skills here again. Are we gonna see something interesting? Not sure. Let's, for example, check the economy. 35 for Illich. Well, that's the fast Imperial, so that's kind of figures. It's going to be hello Echo, but it's kinda gutsy to attempt that without the sling. That's really kinda unusual, I'm thinking. Everybody else is just booming. 52 for McLaughlin, 62, 62, Perugis and Mr. Tempo. So the economy is definitely better for the Peruvians. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. That was exactly the hit I was looking for, but you need to right now retreat, as you need another one to give me. You need to just go for attack ground to some clever spot where the guys are moving to catch them off guard. Trebuchet getting rid of the castle, of course, is gonna be a bit of an issue for Perugis. Oh, nice one. So yep, that's exactly what I was talking about before the pause a few minutes ago. As of course, if he can properly handle the Mangonels against the Pluntaches, then the monks could work, but otherwise, kinda tough deal. So yep, that seems to be working quite alright, trying to get rid of the castle. And since he's having just one, dropping another already, because he's fully expecting it's gonna die pretty soon. Where do I hear somebody? Ah, here he is, hitting the wall. Well, that's gonna take you a bit of time apparently. Just now 78 hit points down from 1800. Not really great, all that much, but let's move to the top. How's it developing in here? Not really much. These are already dead for a bit from before. Economy growing strong for Mr. Tempo. And of course, economy growing also at the bottom because of the extra gold mine that he was able to secure in there. And he should be knowing, Mr. Tempo is having the town center in there. Switch into McLaughlin. No. McLaughlin. Clicking all the wrong buttons. Oh, he doesn't. It's a bit too far away from him. He doesn't have the line of sight on that, so he needs the next age. In Imperial Age, it could be visible, because you get more vision as the ages advance, and we are going to be moving back to actually what Deadpool is going to be doing, and that's barracks and monks, or other monasteries. So let's castle down, attempting to convert at least a few villages in there, with pretty decent amount of Plunt yet again, waiting to be massacred. But of course, the Imperial Age missing for him, and he's still going scale mail armor Perugis. Alright, so that's going to be switching into Eagle Warriors. We can already see one barracks. I will be expecting a whole lot more being dropped sometime soon. So far we don't see them really. We don't really see them all that much, as conversions are right now coming in, as they are occupied trying to get rid of all the trebuchets in there. And of course 3 conversions, nicely played, but of course it's probably going to be bought out by at least one of those guys getting killed. But well, still pretty much worthwhile in here, because the castles are gonna go down for Perugis, and I'm not sure that he has actually have enough stone. He has probably just finished. This was a stone mine, I'm fairly certain about it. Perugis, he doesn't have enough. He's advancing into Imperial Age, but he's totally through right now. He's going to be hoping that Vladimir Ilyich cannot kill him before he gets safely into Imperial and gets El Dorado. And well, he won't get El Dorado. It's from castle, right? Only, if I remember correctly. I'm not exactly sure, but it could be. I think it's just a unique technology from castle, and without that you're not getting it, which means that your Eagle Warriors are not going to be as strong as they potentially could have been. So Giz just lost the castle in the battle at the bottom, as there is another attempt at drop another castle, with, of course, already Imperial Age in place for McLaughlin, and he's pushing forward, trying to kill the second one from Mr. Tempo, which might be succeeding. This castle is going to be succeeding as well. And well, just those guys shooting at the building, because why the hell not? What else should they be doing? In the meantime, we are seeing quite nice development of Deadpool in the middle, just preparing for the stable Teutons. Okay, so it's going to be horses from him. Full-on horses, that's also something fairly standard, so nothing like monks and whatnot. That was a relic, just for the relic, even though he hasn't even collected it yet. They are still standing in there, and oh, that was a bit of an attempt at raiding, a quite successful one. Apparently McLaughlin lost 3 villages. Nicely played. Nicely played, and this push is going really well. This castle, once it's dropped, this gold is going to be out of commission, but he still does have 2 extras, so he doesn't mind at all. Basically the same as Mr. Tempo in there. So Squires, Imperial Age, and Scale Mail Armor for Mr. Tempo. Is he like for real gonna switch into champions? Oh, champions. What nonsense am I talking? Halberdiers. Halberdiers, of course. because he's going to be fully expecting horses coming up from that pool, which are already trickling in, and of course because there's going to be double, but pretty tough double, because full attack is fully boomed basically. Mongol, he's right now at 123, that pool 134, so of course quite nicely. Also Manguda is waiting for elite, otherwise +3 +1, so still missing some upgrades, so they need to kind of hurry up, and they will be doing well if they were at least attempting to stop the Mongol, but they might actually not know about him, because the, what was it called, outpost that was here is not standing anymore. And they might not even know that green is on their doorstep. Well, they have seen him, so yep, through the trebuchet, so kind of curious. Curious indeed. I will be just using those trebuchets against the castle. They need to stop the Mongol more than they need to stop the Spanish. Because the Spanish, what are you going to do with him? He's just going to be spamming halberdiers on you for free, basically. They are just trash unit, easy to make. Cielo is just now moving outside of his base even though being pursued by the plume touches to the 3 conquered, or rather converted from the attempt a bit earlier. Castle finished, right behind him the trebuchet. This is pretty nice, and a lot of monks coming forward and knocking on the gates, as even this double wall-in, almost not, and the triple wall-in is not going to be just enough. Elite eagles for barracks being ready, yeah, that should be quite enough. So let's see how much of a conversion all those monks are going to be able to make. Paladin for that pool, light cavalry full attack, already being prepared for the backup solution that he's probably going to be forced to employ pretty soon. And otherwise the economies, Vladimir Ilyich still at just 51, McLaughlin 64, the economies are just getting away. Mr. Tempo 95, Perugis 79, so yeah, if this early push doesn't work, it's just going to be that there is not going to be any kind of way back for the Moroccans. And the Peruvians, they might just be able to withstand their opponents, but to be honest, it's not looking that probable as far as this goes. It's almost looking like that Vladimir Ilyich should be actually showing him a bit of a red revolution in here, literally. He's red, and, well, interesting. 1-3 castles. You want 3 castles in here. Otherwise behind the base is nothing, just the economy for him. How much gold does he have left? 5, that's 12, 2,000 gold. And, oh, yeah, doesn't mind. Don't mind this. He is still having a ton of gold. He doesn't need trade for any time soon. A lot of pausing apparently in this game. And finally, well, as we have seen a bit before, Deadpool is joining into fun, and let's see if it's going to be anything effective. Of course, this should be prompting a bit more monks from Mr. Tempo, who is ready for that, but they are of course kind of slow to make, and the damage might be dealt before he's actually ready. And we are back in the game, so let's continue with the commentary, and we are looking exactly at the spot where yellow is right now pushing through, and also having a Mangonel to help him with anything that his opponent might be producing, but he's producing a bit different unit than he might be thinking. And of course, this is going to be probably for Mangonels against all those monks, and we are just now going to be waiting for this. Well, let's just... We can't really turn the chat off, so unfortunately we are spoiled that it's going to be a GG pretty soon. So let's see what kind of GG actually is going to be. It's almost looking like that actually. The Peruvians might not be fast enough, especially right now getting in here, as all the cavaliers are getting in here. And oh well. Okay, so all halberdiers of course absolutely wrecking in concert with the elite Mangurais, all those cavaliers, so that's definitely sucky. So right now the battle seems to be a bit turning around. The conquistadors are not really strong enough, and the Mangurais are just a bit better, even though paladins are coming in, and we are looking at Perugis right now being basically pretty much hammered, because even Deadpool is right now in the middle of his base, and the combination of paladins with the monks, that's just a bit too much for even the Eagle Warriors to handle, and there needs to be a bit of help by the Mangurais, of course, by full attack. So let us see how this is going to develop. This is pretty brutal raiding. Put in Perugis at 72 villages, which is, yeah, right now basically improving the situation as far as economy goes overall for the Moroccan team a whole lot more. While the Eagle Warriors are not half bad, and even without El Dorado, they are still doing their job quite nicely even without any kind of upgrades, because Paladins are missing the attack upgrade, but still, armory is pretty good. Siege Workshop times 2. And stream is ended, and well, the push on the top basically right now kinda failed. It seems like that there's going to be a push right now back from Peruvians, and it's probably some kind of drop or whatnot. Or it might also be that host of the room left, which would result in actually Peru winning. So I'm gonna check into the game room if that's what happened. Definitely seems so. Everybody left, so yes, it needs to be Peruvian win. That's really a shame. That's really a shame, and players should be really remembering this, that hosts need to keep in the game for the duration of the stream delay, of the spectator delay, because if they don't, it's going to be cut off. So yeah, unfortunately we lost a few minutes of the game, but it's going to be available on the recorded game that you can be downloaded later on our season. But yeah, it's a victory for the Peruvians because the push on the top failed, even though it was quite nice. And these trash units from Mr. Tempo is just coming through with the Bangudais also. And yep, the better economies just prevailed. Better economies overall prevailed, and that's nicely played. In the meantime, at the bottom, it looked quite well for a moment for Vladimir Ilyich and Deadpool, but unfortunately, the Eagle Warriors were just a bit too strong, and with the support of full attack, it was nice team play, and yeah, the economies, yet again, that was the deciding factor. Okay, so GG, and congratulations, Peru A, on advancing into the next round, and thank you, Morocco A, for very entertaining games, especially the first one. That was a mighty effort on your part, most definitely. Let's check the achievements then. We are looking at full attack, having the high score. Well, he was the best boomin, so that's why he deserved it. But some nice shots by Vladimir Ilyich into the pluntaches in there. That was something we liked. Deadpool, pretty strong echo as well. And he did have the pallets quite fast. But somehow it wasn't really working that well. Okay, so that is a GG.